Zibai, our first lunar crystallized DPS, is finally here, so let's look at 9 teams for her. Most will want a Luger, Columbine is solid too, but we'll look at alternatives, then the last slot is a flex. I bet you've been thinking, you know who I miss? Goro. Yeah, me neither. Zibai does give him a new DPS to support though. To summarise how Zibai works, press skill to convert normals to geo, spam normals to build points, consume them with special skill to deal lunar crystallized damage, trigger more lunar crystallize with a team to get more uses of the special skill, and build defense to buff the team's lunar crystallized damage. Given the fact Goro buffs defense and can heal with his C4, he's going to be a nice free to play option for her teams. She will have a lot of alternatives in the last slot, but we'll let him have his moment. This is his first real run out in meta content for over 3 years. For the 4 people that still play Goro, he's not dogshit anymore, just dog. With Columbine in an effort draining a lot of people's savings, you might be struggling for Primo gems, but not to worry cause LD Shop have you covered. They do top ups for Genshin Impact, Star Rail and more, and it's up to 35% cheaper than in-game. Personally, I think the in-game prices are too expensive to justify buy-in, but the LD Shop prices are genuinely worth it, especially with the bonuses for new users. You don't need your login details, just your UID and server, and everything will go right through. It's all completely safe, and I can vouch for that because I use them myself. At the moment, if you register using my link, you get a 15% off coupon and a 5% off coupon, which can save you up to $30. If you've not used your in-game top-up bonus yet, don't worry, that can be activated with LD Shop too. If you invite a friend to register, you'll both get a 15% off coupon after the first order. As if all this isn't enough, if you spend $80 in 1 month, you get a free Welkin to claim on the homepage. Check the link in the description for the discount coupons. For those enjoying Zhongli in the Lantern Rite quest, you can use him in the last slot. If you're running Zibai on Harbinger of Dawn, which a lot of people are, you'll need her above 90% HP and Zhongli's going to help her there better than anyone. You can also give him 4-piece Instructor if you have a good set, but I prefer building HP for shield strength. There is always the option to give Columbine a prototype Amber though, which I currently have her on. With a Luger holding 4-piece Serenade, you can give Columbine the new set for more damage. She's got strong synergy with Zibai, not just for her off-field damage, but also a Hydra application, and the fact that her burst makes Lunar Crystallize trigger more means she fills Zibai's meter up quicker for a skill. This was my favourite Zibai team just because it's comfy to play, but there are more interesting options which we'll start looking at now. Let's say you want another Hydro character in there to give Columbine a HP from the Hydro Resonance. Xingqiu's damage isn't the highest, but his Hydro application is top tier. Let's say you didn't get a Luger's C2, which gives him some instances of off-field damage. He's not going to be able to extend the duration of Serenade, which only lasts for 8 seconds after the holder deals elemental damage. Xingqiu can hold it instead. If you do have his C2, you can give one of him 4-piece Instructor too. It is a little riskier than some of the other teams because you don't have a dedicated sustain, but Xingqiu's damage mitigation and healing, along with Prototype Amber on Columbine, will be enough for most content. Let's say you wanted to try something not many others are going to try, you could put Dahlia in the last slot. He gives a shield, also gives the Hydro Resonance, and he buffs Zibai's attack speed. This means she can hit the 4th basic attack quicker for the Lunar Crystallized damage, which can be useful against enemies that need lunar damage like the horse in Stygian. Now I know what you're thinking, what if I don't have Columbine, or she's preoccupied in another team? Hold your horses. Get it? Let's look at some alternatives. Obviously this team is a downgrade from the Columbine teams, but you can still beat endgame with it. You will want constellations on a Luger though, the more the better. C2 is important as we just discussed for triggering Serenade. C4 is nice because it's going to give Zibai 200 defense. C6 gives extra crit rates, crit damage and elemental mastery. Not the best team on the list, but a nice one for those struggling for 5 stars. With both a Luger and Goro on the banner, you should be able to pick up some constellations for them. For new players, Xingqiu's available for free from Lantern Rite, so you've got an entire team there. What if you don't have Columbine and a Luger dodged you on the banner? I know your pain. I think this was one of the weaker teams in the video, but if you wanted to experiment with a Hexen Circle synergy, it's an option. Ino gives us Hydro application and Ascendant Gleam. She's also on the banner, so if you can get a C6, that gives Zibai 35% Lunar Crystallized damage. Mona's C1 gives some Lunar Crystallized damage too. Albedo gives us the Hexen Circle synergy and some off-field damage. A big downside of his team though is there's no sustain, so I put Mona on Prototype Amber. Rumours are saying Linnea might be an off-field Lunar Crystallized DPS, so if that's the case, she'd replace Albedo and then you can put in a dedicated sustain unit. Sticking with the experimental angle, I've thrown an Effer in here and it was surprisingly strong. I thought Luna Charged and Luna Crystallized would fight for the spotlight and mess up the team's DPS, but it seems to have pushed it higher. Columbina would obviously be better in the Hydro slots, but I'm trying to show some Zibai teams without her. I imagine all the other videos you've seen already explore their synergy. Xingqiu is there for Hydro application, Iluga is buffing Zibai's Luna Crystallized damage, but if you don't have Iluga, or you don't have him built yet, there's no harm in throwing your Lan in there. Iluga or Xingqiu on Serenade means an Effer can hold the new set too for more damage. With Fav weapons on both your flexes, you might even be able to pop everyone's burst every rotation, which is a bonus because Ineffa is often every other rotation. Let's get Columbina back in there because she is one of Zibai's best teammates and this is a Zibai video. Xingqiu's on Serenade, he also offers the benefits we talked about in the other team sections. Columbina's on Prototype Amber again for sustain, and in the last slots we're experimenting with a quick swap Navia team. Is it the best way to use Navia? No, but if you don't want it to dissolve to the power creep like Melusan Silver dissolved to the Primordial Sea, this is a fun way to use her. I don't think this team was the strongest team in the video, but it wasn't the weakest either. Not one that I take to Fearless in Stygian, but honestly, I think it's strong enough for anything outside of that. There are some bosses that want Geo application for breaking shields. There might even be one in the future, but we won't talk spoilers. Having an extra source of Geo app like Navia can have benefits over Iluga, but Iluga will be better in most situations. Also, quick side note, because I forgot to mention, Chiori's a very good flex for Zibai teams, but I don't have her, so that's why she's not here. Is everyone's favourite reaction Shatter finally getting some love? No, but I thought I'd bring a Scoffier anyway, just to see how bad it was. I figured, seeing as though the team has some elemental mastery, which is what Shatter scales off, maybe it could be alright? I wouldn't recommend it in endgame, but if you like experimenting with different teams in the overworld and domains, it's worth trying. The team's damage is held back by the fact you're getting less Zibai skills because Frozen steals the Luna Crystallized procs, which isn't fun. Maybe one for if we ever make Luna freeze, but I doubt it. This last seems pretty safe. I found it was quite strong and it's an easy team for day one if you don't have the mats to build both Zibai and Iluga. Farina's on Serenade and gives us another source of damage. Shalonen helps keep Zibai above 90% HP for Harbinger of Dawn. The Natlan Craftable is a solid free-to-play alternative if you find you're not staying above 90% HP. For a score out of 10, I'd give Zibai an 8.5. She's strong, makes use of a new reaction which is a positive, works well with a new 4-star Iluga, and being able to hold Harbinger of Dawn is a win for free-to-plays. I mean, it's a win for players that aren't free-to-plays as well but wanted to commit their Primo gems to other units like Columbina. She feels a lot weaker not having Columbina though, which sucks, because all the other Notcry units want her as well. Overall, I think she's released in a good state. Very strong character to go for if you need a Notcry team, not a must pull if you already have one. I'm dropping a Varka video next week, as well as a video looking at all the banners for the next patch. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in them. Don't forget to join the Discord where you can tag me with any questions, and take it easy.